what will happen?
intimidating.
This is very intimidating.
Don't worry.
Okay.
It's not here.
Okay. So I need to see my list. Hold on.
We'll do 360.
Alright, we'll do goniometry first. So, elbow flexion. What position am I putting my patient? Somebody tell me. I'm going to make you guys tell me as we go. For elbow flexion. How's no one said it yet? No.
Sitting.
No.
Just facing.
Fully extend arm in anatomical position.
What do you say?
Your arm is fully.
It's not on a card. It's goniometry. Goniometry, elbow flexion.
Oh.
I'm alright.
Supinated.
Thank you. Supine.
I got you. I already got you, bro. I just guessed. Sort of good.
You're good. You're good. No, you can leave it. All right. Do we remember? Are we vaguely remembering this?
No.
From when we did goniometry? Okay. So her arm is going to be supine, supinated. Okay. It's all coming back to us. All right. I'm gonna have her flex. Make sure she can do it. Perfect. And then where am I going to put my fulcrum?
On the lateral epicondyle.
Good job. Here. Okay. And if I wanted to, I could prop her up a little bit so that way this doesn't hit the table, or I could have her kind of move off the table. So I'm going to move off this side a little bit. And then I'm making sure I find her condyle, my fulcrum's right there, and I keep the top part in line. All right, so then I am going to go ahead. I already took her through flexion once, so I'm going to go ahead and have her do it again. Go for it. What is my, sorry, I'm taking your sweater with you. What is my norm for this?
0
0 to 45.
0 to 150.
0 to 150, good. And I have got 0 to 138 on that for her, which is probably her norm. How would I know if that's her norm?
Test the other
Measure
side.
the other side, good, which I'm not going to do. But just for sake of knowing that. So if I got 138, remember when we do extension, I like to kind of just go from the flexion, which would have been 138. I have more now because I've moved my fulcrum. But so kind of reposition yourself. And then you're going that, say, that 138, and I'm going to starting and then see how much hyperextension I have, which I have right around 10. So it would be 138 to negative 10, or the range in your textbook, remember, says 0 to 10. I like to say the negative so that you know it's going past that normal kind of 180. Biggest thing with the goniometer, just make sure whenever you start, you pay attention to where your starting point and where you're going so that you're reading the correct numbers. Does that make sense? Because that, I think, kind of messed some people up last time. Okay, you can go ahead and sit up. Yes.
Which way is the hand?
It's supinated. It's supinated for both. So supine and supinated. Good question. Intimidated by you recording it. Okay, you can go ahead and sit in the seat now. All right, so I'm going to continue with just goniometry, and we'll do all of the wrist goniometry as well. The easiest way to do it, I know this is a little high, is to almost have you kind of hang your wrist off. Can you lower your seat? Perfect. Okay. I'm going to position myself a little bit. Here, go this one. Okay. Sorry. Just grabbing your wrist. I think that this is easiest. Sorry for this is really bad for recording. Yeah, as long as you guys can see. Okay, so we're going to go flexion, extension, ulnar deviation, and radial deviation. Make sure she can do it, and then you'll set up your goniometer. Where should my goniometer go for flexion? Down. Yeah. Where's my fulcrum? I heard it. Silent process of what? Of the bone. Of the ulna. So we're going right here. And ideally, you know, position them the best you can. It's nice when they're hanging off a table because you can have it on the sideways process, keep it on so it doesn't move, and then take her into flexion. And I can get a little bit more than the normal. So what's the norm here? 0 to 90, and I got 95. So 0 to 95. So you might just have a little extra motion to get adjust the other side. Okay, I can stay in the same position. Biggest thing when you're doing this, right, you keep it in line with that fifth digit. So just make sure it stays in line the whole time. So I'm going to go extension. I already took her through extension, so I don't have to do that again. And this time we're going to go up. Somebody tell me what the norm is for this.
0 to 7.
I think I can get you to 90. Yep, 90. 0 to 70 is the norm. I got her to 90. So she's 0 to 90. Yeah. Okay, slide back, and you can just keep your hand right here. Questions on any of that? Easy, right? I think goniometry this time around is easier. I will have a small one for the wrist and a larger one for the elbow, and you're welcome to check them out as long as you bring them back if you want to take them home to practice. Okay, so ulnar and radial deviation. I already took her through the motion, but just to show you guys again, ulnar and radial. I do ideally, use the other one. I'm gonna have you do this. So that way I can stabilize this when I am using my goniometer. So for your fulcrum, it should be on the second row of carpals. Easiest way, and I'm sorry if I'm blocking anybody over here. Do you guys want me to move? No. Here, let me do this. Okay, easiest way to find it, remember if you find the scaphoid, it's in here. That's my first row. Here, that would be my second row. So I'm gonna take my fulcrum right down the middle. I'm gonna keep this anchored in so it doesn't move and keep this in line with her middle digit. So then when I go to ulnar deviation, I'm gonna go this direction. How much ulnar deviation should she have? I'm getting a lot. Ulnar deviation 0 to 45. I got 50. And you can kind of push them into it a little bit as long as there's no pain and you'll feel there's resistance. And then you're gonna go radial deviation. So you're coming towards me this way. You can slide it, Liz. Okay, so there's definitely less that way. How much should there be?
35. 30, 25.
0 to 30. And she had 22. 0 to 22. Is this the, no, that one's the other one. Questions on that? Good? Easy? You okay? You okay? Okay. All right, Rom, don't worry about because I'm going to take those out because they're too easy. Manual muscle testing. And we can stand up. Do you care which arm? Okay.
I think this one has more laxity, so relax this one again.
Okay. We're going to see. Kind of. All right, so manual muscle testing is relatively easy. For elbow flexion, just go supinate it again. And bring your arm up and bring your arm back. You do have so much motion, I feel like. All right, so that's basically speeds. She's going to go ahead. You're going to bring your arm in and don't let me push you out. I like to stabilize here, so go ahead. There you go. What muscle am I testing for elbow flexion? Biceps. Good. Biceps brachii is the only one you have to know. If you said brachioradialis or brachialis, you'd be correct as well. All right, and then you're going to go ahead, and I already took her through extension, so I don't have to do that again. Go ahead and extend. There you go. And what muscle am I stressing here? What's nice is when you hold here, you can actually feel the muscle contracting as well. So I'm stabilizing, and I can feel the triceps contract. Perfect. All right, pronation and supination are a little goofy, but you're more or less having them be neutral, and you can do kind of both hands at the same time if you want on this one. But you have her neutral. You're gonna take your palm and put your palm up, and you kind of like to. I like to isolate here, so that way she's forcing it to be like the radial ulnar motion. Perfect. And then go back to neutral, and go palm down. Palm down. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. And that's pronation. So when I'm adding in now resistance, right? So if I want to resist supination, I'm gonna resist from here, and you're gonna try to turn your palm up. And I'm resisting her that way. Does that make sense? And then if I'm trying to resist pronation, I have to resist her here. It almost looks like in the pictures like you're holding their hand. Like you're like I'm going to shake your hand, but it's just the best place to give resistance. If you're anchoring, stabling here and giving resistance here, you could feel it in the muscles. So let's go over muscles as far as supination. What's the muscle? Supinator.
Supinator.
Yep. And what about for pronation? Pronator teres. There's quadratus too, so if you said that, it would be correct. Pronator teres is the only one we talked about. Good on this? All right, perfect. Moving right along. Valgus and varus. So you're going to be back in supination. This position's when in doubt. This position is pretty good. We'll go ahead and do a valgus test first. Someone remind me, valgus test. What ligament am I testing? Good, the UCL. So what you can do, a few different things you can do. When you're kind of stabilizing, I usually stabilize with this arm. I also could take my pointer finger and put it on the ligament. So I could kind of feel it. I would also be able to feel if there was laxity there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give a valgus force, which means I'm giving a medial force to the lateral side. So, it's not that much motion. Yeah, so that would be a valgus test. And I'm looking for laxity to see if there's a strong end point, if there's anything going on with that UCL, whether it be partially torn or completely torn. If it's completely torn, you would know there'd be a lot of movement. And then I'm just going to switch my arms to do the other side. Apologize for the videos, but I want to keep it consistent on this arm. Just spread yourself down. Okay. So now I'm going to go varus. So now I'm looking at which ligament? Yeah, good. Same thing. You could be down here and I can have my finger here, or you can kind of get your finger on it there. That's not a must. That's just something that as you get used to it, you can also then feel if the ligament's intact as well. But this time I'm going to be giving a lateral force to the medial side and checking the laxity there. So really, I'm not moving this arm too much. It's really coming from here, but you're just kind of checking. You always want to make sure you take her flexion, like extension, a little bit of flexion. She's never fully locked out when you're doing any of those forces. So a little bit of flexion. And you would do both sides. Good? Okay, while I'm here, next elbow special task is getting in her groove and just tapping. Feel anything? Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you feel?
It's just like tingling.
Yep, it's a tingling down there, which could be a positive. So really it would be more pain and a lot of tingling down her two fingers, which would be a positive for Tinel's or ulnar nerve impingement or issues. So if she was having kind of pain with the numbness and tingling, I would then go and look into it a little bit more. Yours is pretty superficial, so I'm like right on there. But you can feel it again, bend, extend, get in the groove, and give them a little tap.
Wait, where are you?
Oh, right, so see, it's basically in that groove right here. That's where the ulnar nerve is. So some stick out more than others. Mine's like really easy to get in there. You're kind of on, you kind of feel the olecranon on. So when you take it into flexion and extension, you can feel the space over kind of on the inside is going to be where the ulnar nerve is. Can you feel it on yourself?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Yep, and then you just tap in there. No, I'll find it on you. Okay. There's all smells. All right, good. We're good on all of our elbow stuff. For wrist manual muscle test, it's going to be similar to goniometry as far as the motion goes, but you're just giving resistance. For the wrist, you can have them sit down or stand up. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever you're most comfortable with, as long as you're doing the correct motions. So if I'm having her flex, she's going to flex her wrist. And then you're going to do that again, and don't let me push you out of it. There you go. And again, you're always trying to kind of stabilize, so whichever way is easiest. What are some wrist flexors? The book only has you know two, so you only need to know two. Flexor, carpi ulnaris, and palmaris longus is one too. That one's not even in your book, but if you said it, you would be right. And then flexor, carpi radialis are the only kind of two that your book had. And then we'll go into extension. So you're going to go into extension. This time, do the same motion. Don't let me push you out. Go. What muscles there? You can probably feel them. Good. Flexor carpi ulnaris and flexor carpi radialis. Those two are fine to know. And then you do the same thing for ulnar deviation and radial deviation. So this is the direction you're going to head. Go ahead and do it again. Let me push you out. What muscles are we activating there? Ulnar deviation. Did you feel it? Two right here?
No.
You didn't? Here, do it again.
Oh,
There you go. Okay. Maybe I wasn't pushing hard enough.
I don't think I was pushing hard enough.
Flexor carpi ulnaris and the extensor carpi ulnaris, right? Both sides. And if you try this on each other, and you actually get to have it like done correctly on you, you can feel the muscles activating. So I'm going to switch my hands, and we'll do radial deviation. So she'll go. Do it again. Don't let me push you out. Good. You feel that time? And then that would be the flexor carpi radialis and the extensor carpi radialis. Easy? Okay. Three more. We went through this pretty quick, actually. All right, gamekeepers. Which one's your non-injured?
Gatekeepers.
Okay, it's a non-injured, right? I'd rather do that one. Okay, so for gamekeepers, what am I testing? UCL of the thumb. Good. So I'm going to kind of have her more or less neutral position. I am going to stabilize here at your metacarpal phalangeal joint. And then I am going to, and you can also do this if propped on a table if that's easier. It doesn't really matter, it just might be easier to manage. You're pretty much going to give a little bit of a force. And you're stressing the ulnar collateral ligament. I can do that here and here to double check, but really right here is what I'm looking for, and I'm looking in here to see if there's any extra motion indicating that the UCL might not be there anymore. Similar to what they did in our office, and you would just check again laxity. Questions on that one? Okay, then we've got balance, which take your palms and hold like this. Perfect. I'm gonna push her in and make her hold this for how long?
A minute.
30 to 60. Yep, 30 seconds to 60 seconds. What am I looking for?